Happy hour!
Oh, happy hour.
Yeah! Hey, Rook, is your mic on? Hey,
Nope.
audience, he is going to respond, fuck you, as he always does.
He does.
I said fuck you about 5 minutes ago when I asked you to remind
Yep.
me to unmute my mic, motherfucker.
You were just a little ahead of the game. You knew what was coming.
We're already out of
Anyway.
a PG-13 stream. That was 3 fucks or 4 or something. Now
Who gives a fuck? Come
Doesn't
on,
take
man. It has been quite some time since we have raised the red cup, and the world seems to be going to shit. Although it's still probably in better condition than Rook's lawn. But we'll get to that update in a few minutes. First, I want to apologize. We will return to the Return of the Dauntless for its conclusion next Monday night.
Some kind of conclusion.
Be sure to tune in and find out if Hootie finds any blowfish, if Dee accuses any more parents of negligence, if Cletus talks to any more squirrels, and if Rook fills up the swear jar by himself.
you know that's gonna fucking happen.
Indeed I do. Also, this Wednesday, episode 6 airs of The House of Ill Repute, where there is a tense situation brewing as Kurg kicks in a safe house door, much to Thuna's consternation. Catch up anytime on YouTube with our videos on demand. And hop on over to our Discord at noon the day of for The House of Chill Repute with Violet Crow, where she talks with various members of the cast immediately after each episode. So you can see how we were feeling right at the time. And if you don't want to wait that long, you can get those immediately after each episode on our Patreon, where for just $10, cancel anytime, you can get the first look access to all of these as well as exclusives. Exclusives like, and well, my co-hosts don't even know about this yet, but right now, live, if you hop on over there and are on one of our paid tiers, there is an instructional video from our very own DM Jacob on how to eat a burger in 4 bites. This really happens, and I'm going to quote this verbatim from the clip. Jacob says, "You open, unhinge, insert, and wiggle." I shit you not. That is exactly what he says. This clip right here is worth the $10 price of admission all by itself.
I don't doubt it.
Go over there, check it out, make a clip of that, put that anywhere. It'll be fantastic. But you know what else is fantastic? When you go to run a game and you have all of the materials that you need right at your fingertips. And if you need anything, source books, handbooks, monster manuals, whether it's D&D, Pathfinder, Call of Cthulhu, Starfinder, whatever. If you need dice, they have all of the dice. I mean, all of the dice. They have painted and unpainted miniatures. They have your own painting supplies so you can make fantastic multicolored miniatures just like Ares Starfire. Of course, I am talking about the one, the only Pangea Gaming. Go there right now. They will ship your stuff internationally, ship it domestically. To quote Rook over there. So
it's just inserting fuck someone that makes it a quote from Rook.
Exactly. That does. It's pretty much how every conversation sort of devolves. Am I wrong?
We'll add the Rook Vellum to the menu next week.
Please go and visit them. They give us love, so we want you and everybody you know and ourselves to give them love back. We love you, Pangea.
Yay.
With that,
Yay.
the announcements are complete, and we can get into the true nonsense of the evening.
Evangeline needs to move a little closer to you, Chuck. Just
Closer
slide
to me?
her. Well, just slide her in a little tighter. There we go. That's even creepy. Oh, God, is that creepy? That is so
Excellent.
brutal.
Wonderful.
So there has been a ton of nonsense since we saw you last, including a trip to Canada for myself and Evangeline. But before we get into any of that, what's going on with y'all? Okay, good.
Rook
talk.
lives in a hole now.
I live in a hole. I live in a hole, and it's not a very pleasant one.
To the hole.
It's filled with much mold and lots of it's really nasty.
It's awful.
To the moldy hole.
To the
That's
moldy
gotta be-
hole.
That's got to be a tavern in
Yay.
it.
I was just thinking like that's another one shot or something. Yeah. Or just a really terrible tavern.
Tune in next Monday
The moldy hole.
when the Dauntless will find their way to the Moldy Hole Tavern.
Oh my.
Yikes.
Not. Yeah, Cletus will drink there.
Brandy started the place. What are you talking about?
Oh God. That's so appropriate.
I mean, to be fair, Kurg would also drink there. So.
Mhm.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, so other than the moldy hole, what's going on?
Well, I did get the front yard mowed a couple days. I don't even know. It's rained last couple days here. It's rained. So the backyard hasn't been mowed yet, but the front yard looking nice.
Nice. You know what we need? As I was going through Canada, we were talking about animals and trail cams, and I think we need a lawn cam. That's what it is. We need some sort of just something set up so we can.
I
comment
agree. I
on-
think some really riveting content would be literally watching Rook's grass grow.
Grow. I mean,
Should
saw a
I-
squirrel.
Groundbreaking content.
Should I
Chipmunk goes
only
by.
turn it on? Should I only turn it on when I'm mowing so you can watch how many times I have to change the fucking battery in my lawnmower?
Didn't them do like a time lapse?
Yeah. You know?
There's Rook walking out to his back. Oh, look, there he goes again, walking back in.
There's Rook kicking something. What's he kicking?
Why are the police here?
I'm sure we could make that content. That look, there are not any other D&D channels where you can watch grass grow.
That's fair.
And potentially have a police conflict at the same time.
Oh God.
Try and do something new.
What are we becoming?
I don't know, but I had to write down the moldy hole. Over on my
Good. I'm
notes.
very glad that you did.
I had to write it down over on my notes.
I think if you needed something to remind you about the moldy hole, then maybe you haven't spent as much time in it as you've led us to believe.
It's a part of you now.
Oh my!
The worst part is 3 ladder falls
Ugh.
in one day in a crawl space. How do you even use a ladder in a crawl space? Is the first important
Let alone
question.
fall off one.
I've done a lot of crawl spaces, and I have never been in one where it was so humid after I laid plastic down that it like every piece of plastic we had in there was like a slip and slide. Every single one, like instantly just moisture, beads of water building up on it. It was disgusting.
Now,
It's a nightmare.
it does sound horrifying, very creepy. And I did make the suggestion. I don't know if you've done anything now. I don't know if I need to help you with this, but I really think when you're done, you should leave a creepy doll or something else in that crawl space, just so the next person knows that it is nasty and haunted down there.
My heart belongs to only one creepy doll, sir. Only one.
There can be only one. Yes.
Indeed. Indeed. Violet, what's going on with you?
Not much. really at all. Nothing. I cleaned my desk today.
Yes.
You can't tell because you can't like see the desk that I'm sitting at, but
You
it
need a
has,
desk cam.
my God, it has just been like just piles of stuff like everywhere off camera, and it still needs to be organized, but like 90% of what was on this desk is gone now. And I found so many dice just like hiding in little nooks and crannies, like underneath and between everything, just like just sweeping up like piles of lost dice.
So let this be a public service message to all of you dice goblins out there. Clean your desk. You will be rewarded.
It's true. It's I'm like
Find little
multiple
nuggets.
bags. The bagged ones are just like complete sets. Like that this doesn't count like miscellaneous dice, and I have several others just that I've been sweeping up for my desk lately. I have so many.
God, I can't even get in the patented Rook pose. I can't even lift my arms that high. This is not good.
Oh no.
Not good, y'all.
So thank you all for joining us once again, whether you're doing it live or you are watching this afterwards in video on demand. We appreciate your support of Rook not being able to raise his arms to a proper height.
We appreciate you watching this in memory of Rook.
Not in loving memory, just in general memory.
We just remember in a neutral kind of way.
Rook lost to the moldy hole.
Oh no.
Oh,
yikes.
Do I have something in store for you all?
Oh.
I can't wait. Next Monday night, everyone tune in and find out just what the hell is in store for us in the moldy hole, as well as what the hell the Sir Elton John is. You will be able to affect the action. You can make us Sir Elton John. Don't know what it is. Don't know what it does. Do we need to put on sunglasses? Do we need to act like we're playing a piano? I don't know. Tune in next week and find out.
It's gonna be fucked up.
It sure is.
Hootie! Hootie!
Oh gosh.
Oh my. If you haven't seen the first two parts, now is probably a time because you're listening to us
or
talk
even the
nonsense,
prequel.
you have to be bored.
Don't
So
forget
go
the
over there.
prequel.
The original. The
original Race of the Dauntless, and then the first two episodes of Return to the Race of the Dauntless. That's 9 hours you could be spending.
Also, I don't know if anyone noticed. I didn't like tag it or anything, so it's mildly secret. On the Discord, if you go to the music channel in our Discord, because we had to delay continuing the Dauntless adventure, I did post a Spotify playlist that is Dee's Goth Girl Spotify playlist.
Nice.
So you can check out the kind of music that Dee listens to.
Get into that headspace. You know, I will not subject you to what kind of music Cletus might possibly listen to.
It's just Cotton Eye Joe on loop for like 3 hours.
82 hours of Banjo's all-time greatest hits. Working on the fence post. Oh my.
So what have you been up to, Chuck?
Oh yeah, not much. I didn't really do anything. I saw a bear.
Okay. Yeah.
So went to Canada, married some people, which that was a hoot.
Must be a different
my first
laws
wedding
up there in Canada.
Oh yeah, it's different.
Did you get the joke that you married some people?
Yeah. I was the minister. I performed the officiant. I performed the wedding. They are now legally bound. They actually went and turned in the certificate and everything, so it is 100% legal now.
You say that like most people don't. Like,
Well, here's the
Of course
thing.
they did. That's how it works.
Well, yeah, no, okay, but here's the thing, right? We were in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
We had the ceremony. Everything was going great. Everything was fantastic. Then we spent another like 10 days in Canada before they could come back and have the opportunity to turn in the certificate. Everyone knows the first 10 days are crucial. Anything could have
They could
happened
have changed
in
their
that
minds and
time.
just torn up the paper.
Right. You know?
The easiest kind of divorce.
Right? It never happened. Paperwork was never filed. We're out of here. So what if we've been together 10 years? You know? Oh. But no, I officiated my first wedding, which was fantastic. It went really well. It was about 10 minutes. I got a dozen, maybe more laughs. People were enjoying themselves. They were rolling. So
Did you have a tight 5 for?
it was a pretty tight 10. So, you know, it was a full set. It was a good, really where you want to be. The thing is, it does make me feel like I should diversify a little bit. And I would like to announce here that I am now available for, in addition to weddings, if we need a bar mitzvah, if we need a quinceañera, a bris, whatever the ceremony is, I am here. I will get you a good rate. I will officiate for you. So
What
please,
kind of ceremony do you like? What kind of tight 10 do you think you would bring for a bris?
oh, well, you're gonna have to pay to find that out. That we don't give that shit away for free around here. Sorry. If you want an example, I'm sure there's some video from
No demo.
from,
You're not gonna
from the,
demo.
there was some video from the wedding ceremony, so you can get
Okay,
an
I
idea of the sort of things that
Mhm.
that go on. And it was we had everything covered, from, you know, the traditional stuff to the Jewish glass breaking part of it. We had to do that and make sure that went off without a hitch. And being a professional, I knew to get out of the way so the photographers could capture the first kiss, which isn't really a first kiss, but sure, the kiss, without having my ugly mug in the background. Who would want that, right? That's the sort of professionalism I bring to your ceremony, whatever it may be. So
I will say, having attended many weddings, and I've also been married myself, but I had more control over that situation, so that doesn't count. But like having attended many weddings, if the ceremony was about 10 minutes, you did everything right.
right.
Like it should just be short.
Yeah. I was bringing that sucker in on time, no matter
Mhm,
for the
mhm.
walk, which happens to be downstairs and over
Oh.
everything. You really should practice this in actual, with the decorations
Including
there.
stairs in that equation really is like such a gamble.
Right?
Why do you want to invite that possibility?
Well,
That you're just gonna tumble.
right? The space was there, but I mean, to be fair, we did the rehearsal on the stairs, but then afterwards, the next day, the flower company came in and they did all the decorations and reduced the width of the stairs by about a third, right? So now you've got the groom who was walking with both his mother and father down this path. One of whom was using a cane, mind you.
That went well.
A more narrow path. It was treacherous. And then the bride, love her, great friend, I love her, chose to have like an 82-foot long train with veil on top of it and everything like that, which of course was getting caught on everything. And you could see, nope, we got to stop. Okay, we can go again. Nope, we got to stop. Somebody get my veil. Hey, can you get my veil? You know, it's stuck. Can you get my veil? And then get it over there. The pictures look amazing.
No shame. Like a super dramatic train is like a killer move. Like, do it. But you need to assign someone to maintain that for you.
Right?
Someone
Like
needs to be
Evangeline.
behind you, keeping watch.
She could have done that.
Yes.
we'll get to talk about that later. But yeah, she could have done that. Volunteer. She would have totally done that.
Literally just envisioning Evangeline sitting on the train with the veil draped over her, just dragging along the ground. That's a fucking move. That's a way to do it.
Oh, that would have been fantastic.
Oh. But yeah, I think in the end, nobody fell, which was good. I beforehand, I was there early, shockingly enough, making sure everything was there. I was talking to the wedding planner. I'm like, okay, when we did this and we were talking about the rehearsal, we were talking about standing here. Now that your chairs and your backdrop and everything is set up, is there enough room for me to not be standing on this sharp incline of gravel here while I do this? And we have to measure it out, make sure the chairs are back far enough for everybody to stand and everything like that. Because that was just inviting disaster. I didn't want to fall at the wedding. That's. Yeah. But no, and there was no videographer. They didn't have a thing. It was all still pictures, so we didn't have to. If somebody could have fallen, and nobody would know because there would be no video evidence of it. So I guess you could have gotten away with it, but have a dress rehearsal, right? Figure out how the dress is going to be when you're walking in there, and how far in the flowers are going to come, and how narrow this is going to be, and all that. Dress rehearsals.
Yeah, I didn't have one of those.
Nor did I.
No. Well.
We just showed up and we were like, where should we stand? Over here looks fine. Okay, let's do this. This is pretty much it.
If y'all want to renew your vow, I am available.
We did hire someone. We did hire like a woman who did like secular ceremonies. Because we had very few people present. So yeah, and she was not expensive or anything. She's super nice. So we did hire someone to do exactly that. So maybe next time, Chuck. Maybe next time.
You should hire Katie. She'll get it done in half the time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true.
Her type 5.
Yeah, her type 5. I mean,
bring her book.
Are you thinking about hiring? Would you be thinking about hiring Katie or Magnazella?
Katie as Magnazella. Okay, that's the way to do it.
Yes.
Oh, duh.
In full costume.
Oh my God.
On stilts, so she gets the full 7.5 feet tall.
Amazing.
I don't know if she can fit the 7.5 feet tall into her type 5. I don't know. But to be fair, I'm fairly sure your type 10 was probably substantially more impressive than Magnazella's type 5.
No judgment. I don't know. I have not booked time.
Look, she's still working on it. We're not at the end yet.
True. That's true.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, they could be headlining some future event that we have coming up.
Could be.
Next on stage we have Magnilza.
Magnilza. Oh gosh.
Oh. Well, I have, in addition to my tales, and I have more of them that we will share time permitting, because like I said, I did see a bear. I saw 3 bears. There was definitely a mama bear and definitely a baby bear. I don't know if the other one was a papa bear, but he certainly wasn't their papa bear.
Everyone take note. Canada has bears.
Elk.
You heard it here first.
I mean, you don't always see. I know a lot of people that have gone through and done stuff in and around and across Canada and not actually seen bears, including my tour guides on the train, or hosts on the train. I was going to shout out to Seamus and Amelia out there working the train. Not actually seen in person or up close. Bighorn sheep, though, that we did see some bighorn sheep from the train and stuff like that. So there are fantastic bits of wildlife that can be seen in Canada.
Sheep, bear, elk.
Bear, elk,
Now,
bighorn sheep.
I wrote those down specifically because I just want to respond, Chuck, and say, I used to live about an hour and a half north of you. I had bear in my yard frequently. I used to have to worry about hitting elk in the road going to the casino I worked at the time at night. And the guy that built my house, the neighborhood that I lived in, that whatever, had 2 sheep that roamed the neighborhood. 2 rams, specifically 2 rams that roamed the neighborhood.
They weren't bighorn sheep, though. I'm pretty sure they were not bighorn sheep.
Well, I don't know. They were rams. They were huge. And they had big ass things. No, so lived in the mountains. The guy that built my house down in North Carolina, custom home builder, he built one at a time. Bought a mountainside and just built one house at a time, working his way up the mountains. And I used to sell them for him and everything else. And he had 2 rams. And when he was working, the barn gate or whatever would be open, and they would just walk right up the road. Walk on. What's going on up here? Why are you all making all this noise?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They are very inquisitive animals.
They are. Moose are assholes, though. I will tell you that. Moose are like.
I have never seen a moose. I've only seen elk. I've never seen a moose.
The moose will like wander onto the road, and they're big. They're bigger than your car, right? They're freaking huge, right? And they're smart too. And they'll be like, "No, you ain't gonna do nothing to me," and just like trot a little bit up the road and turn around. What, you following me? And just sit there and mess with you. Until
just like, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, absolutely nothing. Ooh, you know what else we saw? Wild horses.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Right? Wild horses hanging out like on a cliffside. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Canada is pretty cool. Canada is beautiful, and I would probably rather live there than where I do. I will just say that right now.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, so many reasons.
I think we're gonna see a few of those reasons, aren't we?
Maybe, I guess. I don't know. Not the reasons that immediately came to mind right now. I'll tell you that. But I did prepare some slides. This is the first slideshow. Maybe the next happy hour we can do the second half, the back end of our trip. But Evangeline posed for many photographs during the trip. So maybe
so
Rook,
many we couldn't fit them all in the same fucking episode. That's pretty good. That's
a lot.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. We had a lot going on. There's a lot going on. She was. I'll give you a little prep while Rook brings up the first of these slides to take a look at.
That ain't it.
On the way there. I did ask Evangeline to hide in the carry-on, zipped and closed and everything like that, just so there would be no problems. Well, I was secretly hoping for a problem so that TSA would have to open the carry-on and be face-to-face with Evangeline. That did not happen. But once we got there and everything, we could come out and hang out. We took a red eye there, so we got there very early in the morning. But this first slide that you will see whenever Rook gets
there now.
Okay, this first slide that you're looking up there is bright and early the next morning. First day, first coffee out in beautiful Canada. And as you can see, Evangeline was up and awake and ready to scare a bunch of people while I had coffee. She doesn't do coffee. There was nothing that she wanted to drink served with breakfast. They have laws about that, but we did manage to enjoy a nice breakfast early in the morning.
Her whole posture and vibe there is so relatable to me in the morning. Just slumped in the corner, just like, All right, what the fuck? What are we doing?
All right. Next slide, please, Rook. All right. So in this slide, it was later on the same day, and there had been a restaurant booked for dinner for like 12 of us. As usual, I was the first one to arrive. Even I got there way early because I was just doing stuff in
Before
and
or
around
after
there.
Evangeline?
Yeah, we about the same time, actually.
Okay.
Surprisingly enough,
Mhm.
we actually got there about the same time. But right across the street from this place was a game store, and we went and inspected the game store. It was not anywhere in the same league as Pangea Gaming, but they did have like a little arcade in the back, like a quarter-powered arcade in the back to
That's
play a
cool.
bunch of games and stuff, which was nice. We chose not to do that, because who the fuck carries quarters anymore? And didn't even have, I didn't even take any Canadian cash with me. It was all electronic payment while I was there. But we eventually made our way back across to this restaurant, and they had the whole table set up for us. So we sat down and we waited about like 15 minutes before the person who had booked this place and said go there messaged me and said, hey, I think that place is like vegan, like it's a burger joint, but they don't have like any real meat on their burgers. Can you ask? And so Evangeline and I inquired about the meat content of their burgers and found out it was in fact all vegan burgers and everything. So we had to apologize to them, pack up, and head to a different place for dinner. Evangeline was not happy. She was all there. She was there for like a good 15 minutes waiting to greet people. And then we had to go someplace else. So, but still got to enjoy walking around Canada and a game store nearby. So, all right, we can go to the next slide now, which is the following morning on this is the wharf on Victoria Island. And we got to enjoy the sunrise, the morning sunshine. And you can't see it there, but she was actually watching a seaplane come in for a
that's
landing here. So yeah, it was a good siesta, and the coloring. She liked the coloring of the chairs. It really matched and went well with her demeanor, I guess. That's
her pallor.
Yeah, she was just excited to sit out there for a little while and enjoy what was going on in early morning Victoria, Canada. Now we had 2 days in Victoria before we went to the actual place where the wedding was going to happen, because this was closer to where the bride could get the makeup test done and the hair test done and all of that. So we were just hanging out.
That sounds like a lot of work for a wedding.
I mean, yeah.
It sounds like a lot of work for you for a wedding, but it sounds like just the right amount of work for what this particular couple, and by that I mean this particular bride, wanted for the wedding. And that's all that counts.
I certainly agree.
Yeah.
To each their own. I spent the last 7 days in a hole.
A moldy hole.
Moldy hole.
Not to be confused with
Wasn't
the
even...
moldy hole.
No,
which will be
that's
a
a
much
fine
richier establishment.
Fine establishment. All right, let's move on to the next slide, where we now see Evangeline at the villa, my particular villa, for the wedding. There was like the main villa, which is where the bride and the groom and the family and all that were staying up there. I reserved a large villa closer to the food. I don't know why. It was also convenient location, so we could have the after party there for the after party of the rehearsal dinner and the after party of the wedding. But Evangeline was not allowed to attend the wedding. I tried to apologize to her, but as you can see in this photograph, was a little less than pleased about having to stay in, even though the after party came and there were like 10, 12 people each night hanging out with Evangeline, and just about all of them remarked on how lovely she looked, or they used another word, creepy. And
basically the same.
Well, that made her smile, right?
and took pictures. There was definitely a star of the after party in the in my particular villa for the wedding. But yeah, we had a good time, and this is Evangeline at the villa at the wedding. And I think if we move on from there for the next slide, yes, we will have now left the villa, and now we are in Vancouver proper. After a brief ferry ride where she could enjoy reading and breakfast again. Big breakfast people. Evangeline and I. Well, I am, and I just bring her along with because she has no choice in the matter. But yeah, we had this nice.
She looks really, really happy in this picture.
Yeah, got to hang out on the table, read a book, not shoved in a corner, not left with just some stinky flowers and everything like that. Got to hang out and come out the entire time. Now, mind you, she traveled from this point on. She traveled with me everywhere in the backpack, facing out as we were going anywhere. Anytime we came out, anytime we stopped, come out of the backpack, pose for pictures, do everything. Was not relegated. Very happy to not be relegated to the villa anymore. So this was good. This was a good breakfast. We got to read a bunch and enjoy some of Vancouver after a long Friday evening when we were there. So happy to be up and about and doing stuff. All right, let's look at slide number 6 here, where back at the hotel, she was like, look, I know there's flowers, there's orchids. All right, I will take another picture with them, but I'm not staying here the whole time. I'll just hang here for a couple hours.
So you had to grab this picture quick because she wasn't going to stay there.
Yeah, she was not gonna.
She's on the move in the picture.
Yeah. She's
You
like,
can tell.
right, you got it. I'm moving. I'm going. We're getting out of here. But this was the Exchange in Vancouver. I recommend. It's a nice little boutique hotel near the wharf. Fantastic amenities, as we will see in the next couple of pictures, I believe. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So this was the next day. There wasn't a lot of table space, but she was able to partake in breakfast once again, as you could tell with the sugar packet on the table, and just was like, she wanted to read the book too, and we just didn't have enough room on the table. It was a little cramped in there. We couldn't share and read the book, so I had to read and then.
Did you read out loud to her?
I was going to say, did you read to her?
No, I did not. I was like, you just got to wait your turn. Have your coffee, relax. She got me back though. She really did. She was out late that next night. I don't know. That maybe the next slide. Let's see. Let's go to the next slide. Yes, she was out really late the next night partying, and she had her key with her, but. You know how it is when it's a long night and you've been partying, and in the morning
it probably just didn't work, right? And so
you know how those hotel
she just kind of sat down and defeated at the door.
The key didn't work.
She's trying to do it the wrong way and was like, I don't know why it's not working.
Those fucking key cards never work, man. You always got to have them redone at least once.
So that was, but it's okay. I did find her real early in the morning, kind of late at night when I was wondering where she was, went out to check, and there she was. So we tucked her in bed. If we go to the next slide, please, sir. We managed to get her tucked in the bed nicely and get some sleep and got her some fluids as well. So, get some electrolytes in there. To help the color. You could see how pale she was. So we got her situated. It was good. It was good at the end. All right.
It's important when you're on vacation to make sure you pace yourself, and get some rest and that sort of thing.
Are you listening to this? Are you hearing?
Yeah.
See, it's not just me. All right.
You better watch it, man. You'll fucking die in your sleep tonight.
This boutique hotel was really nice, and we had right outside my door. We had bookshelves, these fantastic little bookshelves, and she went to go and find her own thing to go and do some reading with, because like I mentioned, we don't always have enough room to share the books, so she's sometimes got to find her own shit. And she stayed out there quite a bit, even while I was like in the room doing some stuff, and it didn't even turn any heads. Nobody, I was waiting, nobody would jump scare, nobody did anything. It was a little disappointing. I'm gonna have to shine a spotlight if we ever get back there, but again, do recommend the Exchange Hotel in Vancouver. It is fantastic for its amenities.
And anybody that's watched The House of Ill Repute knows that Evangeline loves bookshelves.
Oh, indeed. It's proven. It's a fact.
A favorite hangout spot.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to slide number 11 here. There was also an expansive couch that nobody was ever sitting on, and it really matched the color of her dress and everything really well. So she was like, look, I got to take a picture here. I will pose for this photo. So we went in there and posed and took some pictures. This was as we were getting ready to leave Vancouver and the Exchange, the night after the meetup, the hit points not required meetup that she did attend, as well as Jacob, and she was quite astounded as well that Jacob could eat that burger in 4 bites. Please go to our Patreon.
Old friends, those two. They have met before, of course.
Yes. But she got to meet some other new people, like Zoe and Hercules and a few other fantastic people from Vancouver. So it was a good night out for her. It was a okay night out for me. You know, I had to deal with her shit the whole night. You know, it's hard. It really is. It's hard. Earmuffs, girl. But hanging out on the couch, and then if we go to the next slide, she did get in a game or two while there, and always won, because if you don't let her win, she's gonna kill you.
That's true.
True story.
You don't want her to get the spindle legs going on. That's not good.
All right, moving on to our next slide. She really did enjoy the furniture there, but you know, sometimes she just needed uppies, and if you didn't give uppies right away, you got to look. Okay, just always remember that when she says she wants uppies, she wants uppies. Okay. Moving on to slide 14, where she learned the pleasures of the Royal Canadian Mail, or Canadian Royal Mail, or how things work.
A great one. This is like a postcard. This is
Indeed. You know what she did right before I took this picture? She mailed 3 postcards. So
well, there you go.
If people involved in this channel, be on the lookout. You may be eventually receiving a postcard from Evangeline from Canada.
Amazing.
Just saying. And if you enjoy handwritten correspondence, one of the tiers on our Patreon includes handwritten letters from Violet.
It's
so please.
true. When I cleaned my desk today, I gathered up and organized a lot of my fancy stationery.
Nice.
I have very fancy stationery. I even have a little kit for making like wax seals. I've got a whole setup here.
Oh, do I need to send you an official Hit Points Not Required seal?
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, because I have like the stamper thing that you can screw on different
heads
things. Yeah. Okay. So that would
I will. I'll get on that. Should that be should there be 1 or should there be 2? Should it be just the happy face, or should it also be?
And then I'll choose which you get.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Evangeline will be very happy to assist you, because she has quite obviously learned how the postal system works.
She is now a pro.
All right, moving on. We're at slide 15. We got on the train that very morning.
I mean, loving this.
We got on the train that morning, and for a little bit, for a few minutes, we were worried that Evangeline would have to take the train ride with the personal item space on the seat. You could tell how overjoyed she was looking up at me in this photo.
She's like clearly thinking this is absolutely demeaning.
She really
And you
is.
will pay for this.
But moving on to the next slide really quick, she did indeed get her own seat on the train. In
But
the
was still
first
mad
class.
at you, so she turned her head all the way around.
No, that's a window seat. I have other pictures that I will show you later on. I didn't want to throw too many in this slideshow, but she did have a window seat. I had the aisle. She had the window seat, being able to look at all of the sites out there. She got up and stood up on the window seat to observe things for a while. And then we go to the next one. The following morning, she again was in the "don't fuck with me" mode. And so spent quite
Ask
a bit of
me
time.
about nothing else.
Indeed.
The classic Magnusella quote.
Until there was a point in time, again, I don't have pictures of this, but she did because she borrowed my phone to watch Hit Points Not Required and look for herself in the background.
Nice.
So we do have photos of that,
and
somewhere.
I'm sure that seat was probably taken, but on the way to the train station, the fellow who may have been seated there died of some weird, unnatural circumstance.
Some mysterious something befell that person.
We would like to go back to Canada at some point in time, and so we will not speak of what may or may not have happened to any potential passengers on the Rocky Mountaineer.
The important thing is that nothing can be proven.
Indeed, no dolls were listed as suspects in any crimes that I know of. All right, moving on to slide 18. We have arrived. We did our 2 days on the train, and we have arrived at the beautiful Jasper or Fairmont Lodge in Jasper, where even at like 8 o'clock at night, it is still sunny and beautiful outside to enjoy the scenery. And Evangeline certainly did enjoy partaking of the scenery with the lake in the background and the lodges, and we had a balcony view overlooking some of the other lodges in the lake. It was quite small. It was really, really small. The bathroom was a literal closet. I believe it's like a water closet, and I now know where that term came from.
It's approximately the size of a closet.
Exactly. But that being said, we did get to enjoy some of the beautiful outdoors there, despite the fact that someone, the groom, might have gotten food poisoning the following morning.
That sucks.
Luckily, Evangeline did not partake of any of the food there. It was just fine. All right, moving on to slide 19, we will have more of the scenery and the evening sunshine. Oh, I don't think we can hear you, Rook. Is your mic on? Fuck you. Well, we'll just talk about Evangeline and beautifully lit in the evening sunshine of beautiful Fairmont Lodge, right as we were going to go eat.
Now?
And
yay,
we can hear you now.
Look at the mountains in the background there is what I said. That's really, really pretty.
Yeah, I know it is really beautiful. We have some more coming up, probably in part 2, that really showcase a lot of the mountains in the area. But this particular photograph was mere minutes from when we were going to go to have dinner and catch Hit Points Not Required's presentation of the House of Ill Repute, episode 4, already mostly in progress. I don't remember where it is we caught on, but we did manage to catch on a snippet of that right after this photograph was taken. And then from there, I think we get to slide number 20, which was Evangeline, a few hours later, this was mere hours later, collapsed after eating too much at dinner in the bridal suite, you will notice, with rose petals strewn all over her.
From her friends, from her admirers and her fans.
No, from sure. Yes, let's go with that. She was enjoying all of the things that the bridal suite might have to offer, including, you can see on slide 21, the bride and groom heart swan towel.
Imagine you just come into your hotel room on the bed.
Surprise!
Oh God, that would be awful.
Amazing.
That's so great. That's so great.
This concludes the first half of Evangeline Rose across Canada. Tune in to the next happy hour when we will have the exciting conclusion as she ventures out onto
Riveting
glaciers.
conclusion.
Oh gosh.
Finally makes her way home. Maybe all of this will eventually end up on social media, but I have one burning question for Hit Points Not Required community. I don't know. Do we have a name for our peoples yet? But whatever you're called, the
Hitters. Interesting.
hitters.
Interesting choice. All right.
For those hitters out there,
Well, I don't know.
it was broached to me several times by several different individuals along this trip that Miss Evangeline Rose should have her own set of social media accounts to document all of her travels. And if you, hitter that you are, want to see Evangeline Rose on her own social media accounts, please let us know. Comment on this video, join the Discord, send us weird things to our email, whatever it is that you think would help.
However you think you can contact us, it will probably work.
Send us a postcard, whatever. And let us know that you want to see Evangeline Rose's travel channel, where she will rate hotels, rate restaurants, rate things on a scale of maybe like 1 to 5 creepy stairs. I don't know what is the whatever that rating.
What if it's like 0 to -5?
It could be 0 to -5. Aspire to be a 0 on the
Aspire to be a 0 on Evangeline's travel channel.
That's another T-shirt. Aspire
You
to be
want
a
0 hexes. 0 hexes.
Hexes.
You want
yes.
0 hexes, not 5 hexes.
Not -5 hexes.
No, you want it's
Well, if it's gonna be hexes, then
right.
it should
If it's
be
gonna be hexes, it should be
yes.
5, right? Yeah.
Right.
You want
Yes.
0 hexes. That's the best rating you can get.
Yes, the best rating could get 0 hexes. So
Amazing.
that was. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of Evangeline travels across Canada. I have. I think. Guess we have a few minutes here. I have time for one. Yeah, a couple minutes. According to my clock. According to my clock. Are you trying to short Evangeline?
No, I am not. That is not me. I am not doing that.
I don't know if I brought this up on our aborted Race of the Dauntless chat, which has now been deleted, never to be seen again. But I did. People came up to me. I mean, it must have been 100 people while I was out there asking me, "Hey, so what's up with the doll?" I mean, as if me walking around casually with a creepy doll in my backpack or in my arms or seated next to me at lunch was something that's uncommon for someone that looks like this. I don't know. I would think they would look at me and instantly know what's up with the doll. But it got to the point where I would start inventing stories. And my favorite one was when we were on a tour. It was a bus tour, and there were a bunch of bus tours all going to the same place, right? So we were at the second stop at a lake, this beautiful, picturesque lake in Canada, and this bubbly, energetic tour guide from a different tour that had done the same 2 stops at the same time as we had done came up and say, "Hey, I saw you at the other lake, and I saw the doll there, and I just was curious as to what that was about. What's what the story is." And in a deadpan fashion, I just looked her straight in the eyes and told her, "Well, when my daughter died at the moment of her death, I captured her soul in this doll, and I'm taking it around to see all the beautiful sights of the world that she never got to see when she was alive." And the look,
So fucking grim.
and the look on this person's face was like, I want to be anywhere but talking to this lunatic right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
I did explain what the actual story was and everything after that. But if I had a camera for that look for 2 seconds on
Oh,
her
gosh.
face, that was like, I wish I could just Homer Simpson right now. I really do.
Sorry.
Oh.
Oh gosh.
And with that, I believe our time is up. I apologize for monopolizing so much of our time this evening with stories of Evangeline that we did not even get to the topic that I did not even prep my co-hosts on. But I do, if you want to get one more thing in, Violet.
I was
before
gonna say we also didn't say who drinks on the house.
That's exactly where I was going. Thank you for
All
bringing
right.
that up. Well, I was going to say tonight, and for the next, and until the next happy hour, anyone who has a place in their heart, anyone who has a friend that has a place in their heart, anyone that has their own creepy doll, you drink on the house.
Absolutely.
With that, we thank you for taking this wild, really wild journey. And remember, hit points are not required to enjoy a tasty beverage with a creepy doll.